Alright guys, this is page 2 of the Graphing and Solving Square Root and Cube Root Equations test review. We're looking at problems 3 through 8 here with the equations. And the first problem is a cube root question. So we got the cube root of 2x minus 2 is equal to negative 2. And the first thing we do is ask ourselves, what is under the cube root? And here the answer is 2x minus 2. And so we go ahead and put that in parentheses. So 2x minus 2. And because it's a cube root, I raise it to the 1/3 power is equal to negative 2. And because these parentheses are completely alone, we go ahead and we cube both sides. We don't have to do anything here with solving. So I'm going to go ahead and cube both sides. And I'm cubing because it was a cube root, right? So the cube root and the cube cancel each other out. I get 2x minus 2 on the left side, and on the right side, I get negative 2 cubed, which is, if you're having trouble remembering, it's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. And this is positive 4, and then times negative 2 is negative 8. And now we have an equation that we can solve. We add 2 to both sides. So 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide by 2, x is equal to negative 3. And remember that with cube root equations, we don't have the same possibilities for extraneous solutions. So we can go ahead and say that's our answer. You should always check your answer, but I promise that one's right. All right, with number 4, this is 2 square root expressions that are set equal to each other. And when we have this, what we do, guys, is we can get rid of the square roots. We can square both sides to get rid of them. There's nothing else on either side of the equal sign, just 2 equal square root expressions. And so what that means is if the square root of 2x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 4x minus 3, then 2x plus 2 is equal to 4x minus 3. They must be equal because their square roots are. I'm going to go ahead and square both sides, and I get 2x plus 2 is equal to 4x minus 3. And this is just a simple equation, so subtract 2x. And I get 2 is equal to 2x minus 3. Add 3. And I get 5 is equal to 2x. Divide by 2. I get x is equal to 5/2. Or you could say 2.5 if that makes you feel more comfortable. We all know how I feel about fractions. They are our friends and sometimes our food. All right, guys, it's a square root equation. You want to go ahead and make sure to check your answer and make sure it works. So I'm going to do that. Don't freak out. It's just a fraction. So this is the square root of 2 times 5/2 plus 2 is equal to the square root of 4 times 5/2 minus 3. And so 2 times 5/2, 2 times 5 over 2, that's 5. Square root of 5 plus 2 is equal to the square root of 4 times 5/2. Well, that 2 goes away and that becomes 2. So this ends up being 10 minus 3. This is the square root of 7. Equal to the square root of 7. I don't know what the square root of 7 is, but I know that the square root of 7 is equal to the square root of 7. They're the same. And so that checks out, and we're good. Our answer is 2.5 or 5/2. All right, guys, moving on to number 5. We already have an exponent of 1/2, so I don't have to do any rewriting of roots. But my x to the 1/2 is not alone. It's not alone. That 8 is in the way. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 8 to both sides. And I get x to the 1/2 is equal to 18. And to get rid of that 1/2 exponent, we have to square both sides. So x to the 1/2 squared is equal to 18 squared. That is x is equal to 324. You will have a calculator, okay, but x is equal to 324. Now, because this is a square root equation, we do need to check our answer. So 324 to the 1/2 power minus 8 is equal to 10. We just squared like we just did this problem, so we know the square root of 324. It's 18. We just found that, right? So 18 minus 8 is equal to 10. And in fact, this works out. 10 is equal to 10. And so x is equal to 324. For number 6, we are again dealing with an equation that's already been written with a rational exponent, so we do not need to rewrite this with a rational exponent. We are trying to get this x minus 1 in parentheses alone, and so we've got a 3 there. We've got to move that 3, so we subtract 3 from both sides. We get x minus 1 to the 1/3 is equal to 1. And now that you've got the parentheses with the 1/3 exponent alone, you can cube both sides. And so you get x minus 1 is equal to 1. We have not solved for x, so we need to do that. We're going to add 1 to both sides. We get x is equal to 2. And remember that it is always important to check your answers, but with cube roots you do not have to worry about extraneous solutions. So our answer here is 2. Moving on to numbers 7 and 8, they are just like number 4, where it's 2 square roots. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of those square roots right away by squaring both sides. And we can only do this because it's just a square root on each side. But we can get rid of both of them, and we get 5x minus 1 is equal to 2x plus 11. And then we solve for x, so subtract the 2x. And you get 3x minus 1 is equal to 11. Add 1 to both sides, and you get 3x is equal to 12. Divide by 3. X is equal to 4. And because this is a square root equation, we need to check and make sure that that works. So we're going to plug it back in. This is the square root of 5 times 4 minus 1 is equal to the square root of 2 times 4 plus 11. This is the square root of 20 minus 1 is equal to the square root of 8 plus 11. Square root of 19 is equal to the square root of 19. And I don't know what the square root of 19 is, but I know that the square root of 19 is equal to the square root of 19. And so this checks out and we're good. We'll check there. All right. Just for fun, let's make 8 cube roots. So there's no 3 there, but let's just make them cube roots. It's more fun. And so what we do with this is the same thing we did with the square root equations, which is that I can get rid of those roots right away by cubing both sides. And I'm cubing because I made them cube roots, right? I put those 3's there, so that's why we're cubing here. We end up with 10x plus 3 is equal to 2x minus 21. Solve for x, so I subtract 2x from both sides. I get 8 plus 3, or 8x plus 3, sorry guys, is equal to negative 21. Subtract 3. I get 8x is equal to negative 24. Divide by 8. I get x is equal to negative 3. Because these are cube roots, we do not have to check for extraneous solutions. I promise that if you worked the problem with square roots, that negative 3 is in fact the answer. It works out. You don't have to worry about extraneous solutions there. All right, guys, stay tuned for page 3.